This isn't just beating a dead horse. This is resurrecting it and subjecting it to BDSM.
Nice.
Okay, that should... Hi, welcome to the Lowbro Show. We're here to react to the news we heard today that Netflix's new series, 13 Reasons Why, has been renewed for a second season.
Deuce.
And yeah, here we are. And okay, so we want to give you 4 reasons, because we don't have time for 13, why this should not be done.
Yeah, totally. It's such a bad idea, guys. Just such a bad idea. Just don't do it. Don't.
And and here's the thing, I love the first season. That's probably why I think there doesn't need to be a second season. Hannah's story is over. We have this great series that has this wonderful format where they can take 13 hour-long episodes, upload them all on Netflix the same way Hannah dropped all 13 tapes on her classmates. We're left to binge them all at once and rush through them trying to figure out what happened to her. And here's the thing, we figured it out.
The big thing is, like, that first season, every character, every side plot, everything revolved around Hannah's suicide. And now that story's over,
it's resolved.
It's resolved. And I feel like the second season, the only way it has to go is by pursuing multiple plot threads at once, leading to potentially a messier season. Well, see, like, the show leaves you with 3 competing plot threads that you have to pick up for the second season. And none of them are appealing to me. First of all, you've got Alex Standall. By the way, we're going to have full spoilers ahead. Alex Standall shot himself in the head at the end of the last season. And he's not dead. He's in critical condition. I'm not sure where that story goes. Do we follow him recovering from a traumatic brain injury? Do people visit him in the hospital? Does he eventually try to wish him well? Die? Where does the trial go? We could go with Bryce and Mr. Porter. If it's going to be anything like real life, I really don't need to see that whole reaction of, he's such a good kid, Hannah was a slut, she was asking for it, why are you trying to ruin this poor boy's life? Because that's totally what they're going to do if they go that route, and I just don't need to see that all relitigated, because we already got that out in season 1. And finally, we got Tyler planning a school shooting, apparently, which is not cool. We'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah, season 1 left these open potential plot points, probably just in case there was a chance that they could be picked up for season 2, so that there was a place for them to go. The thing is, I actually like that season 1 ends open-ended, because we're supposed to see, because these are the consequences of people's actions, and by not knowing what comes next, we as an audience are left to fill in the gaps and to make good choices to prevent similar things from happening in our own lives. Also, this is based on a novel, and the author hasn't written a sequel. There isn't really any artistic integrity in extending stories. Honestly, almost every TV drama that I've gone to love has gone on too long, and that's the only ways that they can stay alive is by opening multiple plot points. In a less sophisticated example, I'm on season 6 of Scandal, and she's probably going to get back together with the president for the 3rd time. I don't know why I'm still watching this show. It reminds me of when 24, when we had Jack Bauer's daughter getting chased by a cougar.
Yes! Like,
not a middle-aged woman, a feline. And big cat.
Yes, big cat. Yeah, like, it's like, oh, we still have this character, we still have this plot thread, we need to put it in the show. No. Do we? Do we really need to watch
I think the reason that the overarching theme of all of these potential frivolous plot lines is that extending a TV drama for commercial reasons doesn't work.
Yeah.
That was the end of my thought.
The end. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't. Like, there's clearly entertainment that's created because people want to make it good, and there's entertainment that's made because it makes money. Sometimes they overlap a little bit, like, say, Star Wars The Force Awakens, but
But
Um,
I think the key there is that there's enough artistic passion behind that
yeah,
to be very lucrative. I think there was a lot of passion behind the first season and a lot of things they wanted to say, and then they just threw in those open plot lines just in case we can make some more money off of this.
yeah, yeah, and that's not a great recipe for a good TV
I
show.
agree. I also loved HBO's miniseries Big Little Lies, and apparently it was such a big success that they've formed focus groups trying to find a way to continue that story. And if you've seen that show, you know it's done. But yeah,
Okay,
just
cool.
when a
This is
drama
short.
is over, it's over, folks.
It's over. Just don't do it. But if you had to, how can we make it work? I've got 4 reasons how it could potentially work, and we'll talk about it quickly. First of all, one way to make it work, end on a positive note, lighten the mood a little. I think one of the worst things you could do is try to top season 1 by making season 2 even darker. Like, we don't need to do that. Cool.
It's like saying you want to make Thunder Down Under more thundery.
But yeah, this leads me into the reason number 2, which is related to this. Don't do a freaking school shooting. Like, just don't. Like, if showing a suicide on screen is bad, doing a school shooting is insane and so dangerous and so potentially irresponsible. And it leads to one of the big reasons why I don't think season 2 can work is they've left that thread open. It might happen. And they have to address it. And so the only way I see that working at all is if that whole thread is about not doing school shooting. Stop
And
being Tyler.
I think there's definitely things to learn and things to gain from stories that don't end on a positive note and that have a sad ending. I think sad endings are effective when they're done right. But I do think that, yes, in trying to make season 2 darker than season 1 will only feel like overkill.
Third thing to do, put a spotlight on mental health. That was kind of one of my big complaints with the first season is basically no one seeks out mental health. And even though I guess a sophisticated viewer can view that some of the characters are suffering consequences in the present day for not seeking mental health, like Clay specifically pushing that away, Hannah's mom specifically very much needs therapy. The only character who mentions that they are currently getting mental help is Alex, and he's the one who shoots himself in the head.
Maybe we'll get 13 tapes from Alex, and Clay will listen to one at a time and tell us how it's everyone else's fault. That'll just be great.
That's our last reason, by the way. Last thing to make it better is let's change the focus. Like, I like Dylan Minnette. Apologies for mispronunciation, potentially. I liked him, but I don't need another season of him moping, approaching kids one at a time saying, you did something bad.
And that's on you, writers.
We don't need to see it all over again. We don't need to watch him glaring at people from across the school courtyard.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Clay's had enough of caring about things for a while. I think Clay just needs to not care, and that's not fun to, I mean, that's just not fun to watch on TV. Clay needs some good time in front of the TV eating food that's bad for him. And somebody else needs to take the driver's seat.
Like, Clay's learned his lesson. He's learned that he needs to reach out to other people. He rides off into the sunset with the tattooed girl. So he can take the backseat. I think what could really make the second season stronger is by having it focus on a different character. Any character. Because it's a great ensemble cast. There's a lot of people who ended season 1 in a pretty bad place who obviously need to fix themselves. And I think a great way to go with season 2 is, whereas season 1 was all about treating other people better, make season 2 all about learning how to treat yourself better in terms of mental health. And I think some good potential candidates for a focus for season 2 could be possibly, this is going to sound weird, but a lot of people's least favorite character in the show, Courtney. Just bear with me for a sec. She ends the season completely unrepentant and never gets redeemed in the same way that Justin sort of is and Alex is. But Courtney is someone who is just kind of a B from the moment you meet her, or at least from her tape all the way to the end of the season. And I think potential for a pretty good storyline there if it's about how she learns how to be a better person, how to accept herself.
She has LGBT parents, and that's something that's been brought to light maybe in Modern Family, but I think to put that kind of family in mainstream could broaden some people's perspectives.
Sure, yeah. Are there other characters that could potentially work as a focus?
I think perhaps I think Marcus for similar reasons as Courtney, but Courtney's just more interesting because of the LGBT reasons, I guess.
Yeah, and Marcus is not quite as interesting because he does some minor sexual assault. I mean, I don't know that it's a entirely bad idea to figure out a show where he turns his life around, but at the same time he's already like class president or whatever, so he's kind of
fine. I think Justin actually could be interesting.
Yeah, Justin, maybe
fill in more of his past. Maybe even Jessica? I think Jessica could be interesting for the same reasons as Justin. We could learn they
turn their life around, learn to stop being a train wreck,
and also we could learn about why she's moved around a lot, why she and how moving from place to place has been difficult for her emotionally. And then another idea, this might kind of feel a little bit CWE, but if you went with Zach, there could be this whole, sensitive person who has a shell of don't care jock.
Yeah, actually, of all the other people on the tapes, he's the closest to Clay in terms of temperament. I mean, there's no stopping this train, so those are our suggestions on how to make this better. Listen to them, Selena Gomez.
What were you going to say we did discuss?
How we're going to end this.
If you watch YouTube videos regularly, you should know where the subscribe button is. So I'm not going to put my hands on the screen as if there's some floating button that I can see here. And oh, it's so cool. There's this invisible thing, but he pre-edited there. How clever.
Yeah. I mean, this venture runs off of your validation. So we like comments.